Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia Soiree, and we're at a little cottage by the sea or whatnot. I feel like when we got here in the last part, I was like thinking it might be Tsukuyomi's place, but he lives underground, so this would not be his. Wow, well, yeah, that was kind of like the dumbest thing I think I've thought. I don't know if I said that out loud or if I was just thinking it, but when I went to load this part, I was like, wait, this wouldn't be his thing because he lives underground, so I don't know. Anyway, we're at this cottage place, so who knows whose it is. We'll find out. Is it ours? But like, why would we have a little place here? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's been a while since I've been here. I guess I've been busy. I took off my cap and jacket as I walked to the window. I took a breath. I've collected quite a bit, so I guess it is. So that's really interesting. We have our own little cottage by the sea, but we live on Doma's estate, so like... And this could be on his estate properties, we don't know. Inside the antique drawer were my treasures. It contained colorful seashells, glass shards, and other interesting items I found along the shore. This is literally Ariel's little grotto thing. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Oh my God. We're the Little Mermaid right now. I've got seashells, but she's got sea things where Ariel had like forks and shit. Like, this is your home now. I set the small bottle down in an empty space. Tokyo, I wonder what it's like. To think it truly exists. Tsukuyomi told me before to go outside once in a while for a breath of fresh air. At first, my governess accompanied me everywhere I went. Soon I was able to go to the beach by myself. Even then I tried to avoid people and had a carriage take me to and from the beach. Come to think of it, I've been coming to the beach alone more often recently. Alone. That didn't mean I was lonely. I just refused to walk around the island by myself before. I've been having fun going out alone. What a nice breeze. This cottage on the cape was a ways from the shore, but I could see Tennyo Island clearly from here. This was my hideout, where I went to be alone, where I went to be by myself. Okay, so like, not on Doma's property. Seaside cottage, a cottage owned by Grandmaster Doma. Okay, so it is. It's like, this is my hideout, but he knows about it because he owns it. So anyway, that is currently being used by Olympia as a hideout. Tennyo Island can be seen from the window. Okay, like, Doma's an asshole, but he's also, like, taking you in, and he's like, sure, I guess you could have this little cottage by the seaside as your, like, hideout or whatever. Like, just pretend I don't know about it. Like, I feel like there's, like, a decent human being somewhere deep down inside of him, but, like, we're probably never gonna see it. Maybe it's just I want to believe. I want to believe, Daddy Snape. I want to believe, okay? I don't know why I love him. I do. I enjoyed the gentle breeze while drinking tea, reading books, and taking naps. She's like, it's my hideout. Nobody knows about it, except for Doma, who's like, I fucking, whatever. Like, you just pretend it's your little secret, girl. The wind must have carried the air here from Tennyo Island. Feeling the breeze tickle my skin brought me back to the island I called home. Mother, please bring me the island's colors, scents, and happy memories. I lay down on my bed, closing my eyes to reminisce about the island's scenery in days gone by. The flowers are in full bloom today. Let's borrow two and wear them together. Oh, look at little baby us. We're so cute with our little lob. We have like just one little ponytail. It's like one little pigtail. It's just like boop. Yay! Me and Mama together. That's right. Let me tell you something special. We girls on Tennyo Island have a wonderful secret. Wonderful? Secret? When you and your soulmate find each other and fall in love, you'll... Well, what? 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 Damn it, brain, why wake me up in the middle of the secret? Mother? I jolted up in bed, nearly falling off it. Then I turned to look out the window. That's right. I can't believe I forgot what my mother told me before. Why am I only remembering it now? Did she give us the birds and the bees talk? When you and your soulmate find each other and fall in love, you will... What? Damn it, game! When I find my soulmate and we fall in love, I will... I mumbled to myself, tugging on the ends of my white hair. Wait, does that mean I... The more I thought about it, the more embarrassed I got. I think our mom gave us the birds and the bees talk, because that's the only way you'd be really embarrassed about that. I threw on my jacket and cap and hurried outside. I need to find my soulmate now! Oh, that's true. I mean, I didn't even realize when we went there, like, it's yellow on the outside, so of course it's in Doma's property. Duh. Before I can fall in love, I need to find my soulmate first. Is that... Oh, it's like, he's so pretty. So, you have returned here. I have friends in Yomi. Of all the places to make friends. But no one at the surface is willing to be my friend. All they do is stare at me from afar. And that is because you have an important role to fulfill. And I'm fulfilling that role. Please, return to Lord Doma. No! I gave up on talking to him and tried to walk past. Just a moment. Do you have a permit? Huh? I cannot let you through without a permit. Huh? But I was able to go in yesterday. The guard was likely obeying Olympia's orders. Bending the rules of Kunado cannot be allowed. Well, he is right. Akaza also said I needed a permit. Well then, how do I go about acquiring this permit? I'm gonna punch you in the face, buddy, and then I'm gonna kiss you. It's our first boyfriend, it's so funny. Please give up, Olympia. You really mustn't be wandering around Yomi. I'll ask you once more. How do I obtain a permit? How do I obtain a permit? I'll say it slow so you can keep up. She's so sassy. You do not require a permit. Is that for you to decide? Please just return to the manor. As a guard of Kunado, I cannot just let anyone without a permit to enter. I cannot just let anyone without a permit enter. Not to enter, just enter. Otherwise, that sounds weird. The sentence is bizarre. Riku. Phrasing. Just the way you word things. That was odd. It was a weird typo. So, tell me where I can get this permit! You don't need one. Listen carefully. Yomi is... Yeah, I got your permit right here. I got your permit right here. I'm gonna give him a swift punch in the jaw, I swear. Like, where'd that accent come from, buddy? Sometimes when I get sassy. What? I've been looking all over for you. Your permit was finally issued. That's great! Thank you! One you don't need. One you don't need. Just pretend you can't hear him. It's kind of funny, because she is kind of like, she brushes off every single one of the future husbands. She's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, fucking Akaza, nah. Kurdo, but she's like, you're kind of a flirty whore. Could you stay away from me? Like, I kind of love it. She's not like, oh, hey, he's handsome. I can marry him. She's like, this guy's a dick. I think I'm going to fall in love with him. It's just so funny. I don't know why it amuses me so much, but it does. Bravo, writers. See ya. I got things to do. Maybe we can go on a date later. Well, have fun doing your things. That's right. Akaza expedited your permit application, so remember to thank him when you see him. Huh? I wasn't sure what to say, even though Akaza wasn't here. The Iron Mask. For me? Authorized by the Kotowari permit. Transit restricted to permit holders. I looked at the new permit in my hand. It had my name on it, so it couldn't be some kind of prank, could it? The Kotowari is being far too lenient. I cannot believe Olympia of the White would willingly visit such a hellhole. Here's my permit! Because she just is ignoring him. She's like, permit, bye! Please proceed. Her sass to everybody is so good. I got through the gate, but the truth is, I'm just running away again. I can't find my place on the surface, so I'm using Tsukuyomi as an excuse to come here. Ugh, now that I think about it, I really treated that orange person badly. As I walked through the main hall... Oh, thank God! There you are, sis!
Hi, little bird. You're very chatty today, huh? He's happy? Yeah, you're loud, but in a happy, good way. Yeah, I hear you in the background chatting away.
Look! This is your mouse's younger brother, Paris! A mouse popped out from the little cage in Tokisada's hands. Yeah, I love him! Oh, he's so cute. I love how different they all are, but they're adorable. How wonderful to meet you, Hime. I thank you for taking care of my foolish brother. He can't have a high-pitched voice. I don't have enough. So. He's so skinny. Or maybe Daifuku's just fat. It's nice to meet you, Paris. I'm so sorry. I didn't bring Daifuku with me today. Daifuku? I named him Daifuku. You know, because he's round and white. Cute, right? Yusuga had the same reaction. No, I shouldn't be laughing. I think it's perfect for a soft, fluffy mouse. I love Daifuku's sweets, too. Well, he always was a bit plump compared to Juliet. Daifuku, huh? How pathetic. I can only imagine how much fatter he has become. I love Paris. He's so cute. Look at his little face. He's adorable. I want to squish him. Daifuku is the cutest because he's like round and fat and like fat. I don't enjoy being a fat person, but like fat animals are cute. Like there's just something about a roly-poly fucking animal. It's just like roly-poly fat cats. You're like, you're not a healthy kitty, but you're so cute. And like a fat little mouse, and you're like, look at you, you're like a little ball. I just want to squish you. Like my bird is cuter when he's all puffed up. I call him fat, but he's not fat. He's healthy size, but he just when he's all puffed up, he looks fat, and it's just so cute. They're squishier. I don't know. Anyway. Sis, I used to think you were too pretty to be down to earth, but I'm glad you're normal. I look normal to you? Huh? I moved toward Tokisada quickly, and he immediately took a step back. Well, normal isn't... Let me see. You're a lot friendlier than I thought? Really? Do you really think so? She looks angry. Maybe it's because I saw you stuffing yourself with sweet buns last time. Still, I'm happy to hear you say I'm normal. It's the first time anyone's called me that. Well, it's pretty painful being abnormal, isn't it? Tokisada, did you say something? I just said I want to eat some Daifuku now. I'll ask Yusuga to make some later. And by the way, did you have a problem with the military yesterday? Are you alright? Camellia was really worried. Oh, I didn't get hurt, but... I told him what happened, and he tilted his head in thought. Well, Yomi's no safe haven, that's for sure. I rarely bring Paris down here with me. He prefers staying inside, too. He's usually just sleeping inside his cage. That's interesting. Daifuku's usually running all around the room back at the manor. I wonder if that curiosity is the reason why he ended up on the surface. It's possible. I could see that being the case. I'm just happy he's safe. I was helping everyone with the search back then, too. I know it sounds odd for me to say this, but thank you. And I'm sorry for the trouble. I hope we can have Paris and Daifuku see each other again someday. I don't care, really. Now, where'd he get a weird British accent now? Oh, okay, fine, whatever, it works. I'll bring him the next time I come, then. We'll be waiting. Tokisada smiled and his eyes glimmered mysteriously. An outsider. Tokisada, I ran into Lord Jigen at the beach earlier. Huh? He looks stressed out about this. Lord Tokisada? Paris, okay, he's now got a weird British accent, so... He looks, they both look... Paris's cage rattled for a second. Tokisada was also shaking in shock. What? I was completely blindsided by his reaction. Tokisada gripped the cage with his hands, then forced out a smile. You saw Lord Jigen? Did he say anything about me? You mean about your being an outsider? Tokisada nodded briefly. I'm sorry, is that something I shouldn't have known? Not that you had a choice, since Lord Jigen told you, right? I nodded. Okay, maybe that's what he was worried about. I was like, what else is going on? I think it's because we knew, like, us playing knew that she, and, like... So I just kind of forgot that maybe she didn't know. Well, what's done is done. I knew I couldn't hide it forever. So, like, yeah, I guess he never told her. I knew, we knew. So, like, the fact that she didn't know yet and he... Well, I guess that's why I didn't expect him to be shocked. It's like, what did you find out? You're an outsider? Okay. Well, we already knew that. I guess she didn't, and you didn't know that she... Anyway. You know what I'm saying. Tokisada set the cage down on the table, then brought his face close to mine. Yeah, I'm the 5th outsider on Tengu Island. I could see right into Tokisada's eyes. They had a beautiful cross-like mark on them that reflected the light. I mean, they actually, like, it's funny because they do. And I was always like, it's strange that they went with that. And it's like, his eyes are so different. And I was like, is it because of the weird plus sign? Like, because that's not what normal human eyes look like. So it's an interesting choice that the outside world, that's the choice you gave. I'm pretty sure even in Tokyo, people would be like, what the fuck is wrong with your pupils, yo? Like, look at my eyes. Just like Lord Jigen's, right? Apparently this proves I'm an outsider. While they appear virtually indistinguishable from the other residents of the island, their eyes possess features unique only to them. What do you think? Pretty creepy, right? Not at all. Huh? Tsukiyomi is like family to me, and I'm friends with Lord Jigen, and Doma's... well, Doma. In any case, I never thought that about them. I guess I didn't look close enough to Jigen's eyes to notice the plus. Maybe it just stands out on Tokisada. We haven't met Tsukiyomi yet. But I didn't notice in Doma or Jigen. Come to think of it, you're surrounded by outsiders. I've only just noticed it, too. It didn't bother me one bit. I'm actually happy that you're an outsider. I love talking to Tsukiyomi and Lord Jigen because they tell me about things I never knew before. So I'd like to hear more from you, Tokisada. Huh? No? Well, I can't go around giving out important information. Really? Let's say I'll share more as we become better friends. All the secrets you want to know, sis. Let's do that now, then. Huh? I mean, we are friends already, right? Oh, but how can we become better friends? Sis, are you sure you're older than me? Well, I guess we are only a year apart. Huh? Did I say something strange again? What do you mean again? I told him about the time I was with Kuroba and his stethoscope, and Tokisada clapped his hands. The stethoscope? That surprised me too. I couldn't believe it could tell if you were healthy or not just by pressing against you. Amazing, isn't it? Tennyo Island didn't have any, so I was happy to see one for the first time. But they just laughed. Okay, it's really funny that Tokisada is like, oh no, a stethoscope is magic! Sweetie, that little letter that we got was from 2021, and we have stethoscopes, and we've had them for quite some time, and... unless stethoscopes here are different, because a stethoscope, you listen to your heart, and you're like, yeah, okay, that sounds good, and your lungs and stuff. You can't really tell you're healthy. You can be like, you sound healthy, and then you drop dead 5 seconds later, and you're like, I guess you weren't. You know what I mean? It can only tell you so much. So unless stethoscopes here are like magic, like bing, 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 it's like a full body scan in a tiny device. Why is he shocked about a stethoscope? Strange. What really surprised me was the carriages. We didn't have them where I came from. Yeah, no, we have cars. Really? So what did you use when you needed to travel long distances? We either rode horses or used palanquin? Okay, time is a weird shit here. So, okay, I'm just gonna guess that they all come from different time periods then. Because the letter came from us from 2021. So, like, carriages, I could see you being like, well, carriages shocked me. Why? Because we have cars. This is like a regression here. So for him, it sounds like this is pre-carriage. We're all of a sudden like, oh my god, now there's carriages. Are the carriages motorized or they're horse carriages? Because, like, I feel like there wasn't a big, huge... I mean... So... What? Anyway. So he came from a time period where there were no so, like, ye oldie timesies. Okay. Interesting. And that letter came... So time is really weird outside the vortex that we live in. Interesting. Interesting. Because, like, it's not like, oh, I've been here for 3,000 years. where he's like immortal. He obviously showed up at some point and has lived here for, it could be 5 years, it could be 17 years. Who knows? Well, obviously not, because, like, he remembers shit, so he was old enough, so he could have come here as a kid, he could have come here 2 years ago. But, whatever, but now it's 2021 out there. But it didn't go from, like, 1800s to, like, whenever pre-carriages was. God, I don't know. You know what I mean? Anyway. A palanquin? I looked at the cage Paris was in. Oh, not this. It's large enough to fit a person, and there were carriers to lift it up. Oh, yeah, that's... okay. I think I've read about them. There weren't any pictures, so I always wondered what they looked like. That's probably it, but... I see. Just because it's in a book doesn't mean there'd be one here. That's why I keep going to the beach. I'm always hoping to find new things. This is... a really interesting island. Really? Come to think of it, I was surprised at everything myself when I first came here. My teacher taught me academics, my governess taught me etiquette, and I read whatever books I could. I thought I was well educated, but there's still so many things I don't know. I want to keep learning as much as I can. There is definitely a difference between book smarts and street smarts. You know what I mean? Like, you can read and be like, I'm book smart, I know tons of etiquette and, like, history and all that stuff, and then you get on the real world and you're like, wait, what? Like, there's definitely a difference. That's really good to hear. I should do the same. I've only been here a few years after all. Okay, so see? And I'm really curious now with Doma and Jigen, how long they've been here and, like, are they, like, how fast time is moving outside versus in here? Because he's been here a few years, but it's 2021 out there now. Like, we are in some kind of... oh my god, are we all dead again? Are we dead? Is that what it is? I'm just saying. How many games have we played where you're like, we're in this weird place, and you're like, are we dead? Like, is this actually dead? Like, we think we're not, but we're dead? Like, were we in a coma? In, like, a shared weird... like, is this some... I don't know, are we in the Matrix? Are we dead? Like, is this like the Truman Show kind of thing? What is happening? Like, time is weird here. So, I'm just saying. Interesting. Interesting. Anyway. I guess we're like school friends then. Let me know if you learn anything interesting. Well, the quest for knowledge and truth was a noble mission given to humans, so I will try to help. Oh, Tokisada, now that we're real friends, why don't you speak casually with me? Huh? Are you sure? But aren't you cautious of men being too friendly with you? Not at all. Really? I mean, sure. It's like, shouldn't you be though? Hasn't everybody warned you about this? If you say so, sis. Tokisada looked more nervous compared to before. I was somewhat cautious of him at first, but he seems a lot more polite than I thought. And here I thought you were shy and innocent. You're a lot braver than I thought. You're a step ahead of Akaza and Cordoba. Not bad. Stop it! Don't be stupid! It's not like that at all! He's right, Yosuga. Stop teasing him. We're just friends who want to teach each other what we know. What she said. How about some fresh sesame balls? He's like, sure. Yeah, besides, I'm gonna marry Riku, who's a complete dick that I hate, actually. I might dislike him more. She might hate him more than Akaza, which is saying something. And yet, first boyfriend. Anyway. Huh. I learned what sesame balls are today. It would have been funnier if the first time she met Riku, because he's the first, that she was like, huh. He's like, you know, I can understand the first meeting being like, wow, what a dick. And then, like, you're like, you know what, he's actually nice. And, like, everybody else is a little weird. Like, I'm hesitant around them. Because Riku's the first one you fall for. But I do like the fact that she's like, as Yosuga said, you really don't see us as men. I know the difference between men and women. He's like, that's not what I meant. But okay. She's like, no, you're like my friends. Whatever. You're like sexless beings. Like, it's so funny. And they're all like, you're like hot. You can marry me. And she's like, haha, you're funny. Anyway, moving on. I kind of identify with her a little bit in that respect because I feel like if I had like 6 hot guys around me who were all like vying for my attention, I'd be totally fucking clueless and be like, hey, this is fun. We're having fun, guys. We're all friends. And they'd be like, we're trying to like date you, and you'd be like, you're funny, and I wouldn't get it because I'm not fucking smart. Like, I don't know how to date. I don't know how to talk to human beings aside from just like, you are a sexless being. I can oogle anime characters and shit, but like when it comes to real people, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Nobody's interested in me. Whatever. I wouldn't get it, so I'd be just as clueless as her. So funny. She's actually, I mean, she knows when with Kuroba. She's like, could you stop flirting with me? You're weird. But she's like, you flirt with everyone. No, I think he actually is interested in you, but like, sure, whatever. Just right over her head. Huh. I learned what sesame balls are today. They were delicious with all the sesame seeds sprinkled on top. I'm sure Daifuku's going to love these. I happily looked down at my bag, stuffed to the brim, when I suddenly realized I completely forgot to look for my husband again. The sun's about to set, too. Well, there goes 3rd time's the charm. Well, that's because a guy talked to you when you ran. I stared helplessly into the Yomi sky. Maybe I should look for that person back at the plaza. You there! Are you okay? You can't move? Just a second, I'll get some food, please. Oh, you're hungry? Well, perfect timing. Here's some sesame balls from Shikinjo. Shikinjo, wow. Go ahead, take them. The young man reached out weakly and took a bite. Good. So good. What is this? Eat slowly. I still have more with me. He ate 1, then 2, then 3. After gulping them down, he quickly sprang up as if he had just come back to his senses. I'm sorry. You saved me. Interesting. So you would think yellow because he's got yellow hair and eyes, but then he's got like a mark on him. Oh, that's what they do to like the freaks, right? They're like, you're a freak. We put a mark on you. Aw, that's mean. I'm gonna guess. Didn't they say that in one of the other parts? Like, see that mark on them, and you're like, what? Would have been helpful if they showed it better, but anyway. It's not a problem at all. Were you only hungry? Are you feeling ill or anything? It's funny because these characters aren't like love interests, but they have like sprites, so I'm kind of concerned. I'm just saying. Because the game is either going to make all of our love interests rapey bastards, which is going to just ruin them all, or all these side characters with sprites are going to be shady motherfuckers. Look, I don't trust anyone. When the game gives me trigger warnings, I don't trust anyone. No, I'm perfectly healthy, unfortunately. Unfortunately? He has a mark on his cheek, too. Okay, here you go. Oh, see, okay, this is, yeah. I can't see any of my friends ever again! They even gave me this horrible mark! You're Olympia, aren't you? I saw you dance a number of times on the surface. Why, yes, I am. Certainly her. I immediately tried to go back to acting like a doll, but I couldn't do it properly. I've been my real self for a while now. His face, he looks familiar. I don't know him, do I? Isn't it weird that she keeps having weird, like, I think I know you. No, you don't. Excuse me for my rudeness, but you aren't anything like the rumors say. Is that so? I never imagined you'd offer me food, especially since you're with Lord Doma. I thought you'd be cold-hearted. The sesame balls I gave you might be poisoned. You even joke, and you saved a Yomi resident like me. His voice just changed drastically like the last couple times we just saw. I don't know what's happening, but anyway. I'm not cold-hearted enough to ignore someone in need, whether on the surface or in Yomi. Is there a problem? She just might... Excuse me? I have a favor to ask. Can you take a letter to my younger brother on the surface? Huh? It was so sudden that I was at a loss for words. I have something to do today, but I'll be back tomorrow morning. Oh, wait. That was him. Or was that us? No, that was him. I, have something to do today, but I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll write the letter as soon as possible, so would you be able to meet me here around 10 o'clock? I was exiled to Yomi recently, but there's something I need to tell my younger brother. Please, you're my only hope. Please help me. Please, I beg you. Is it the orange kid? That's his brother? Maybe that's why he looks familiar. We're gonna get in trouble from doing this, I feel like. Thank goodness it's still open. It's a long shot, but I guess I have no other choice. Good evening. Huh? What's the matter? Finally want to go on a date with me? This is unusual. To see you of all people here at this hour. It's like, you're like, just give up. I'm gonna marry you. I have a favor to ask of you, Akaza. He's like, huh? Is this about taking me as your husband? I'm doing my best to make sure that never happens. It's because I love him so much. She's so mean to him. It's so funny. Not that I've had any results of my own. Someone in Yomi asked me to deliver a letter to the surface. I'm assuming this isn't allowed? Of course. Please. You just acknowledged yourself that it isn't allowed. He said he was recently sent to Yomi and that he really wants to send a letter to his younger brother. Which means he's likely a criminal. Did he have a mark on his cheek? He did. It's settled. He barely escaped execution. What? Being sent to Yomi means you lose all rights you had on the surface, including your affiliation with your color. Instead, you're branded with a mark that identifies you as a criminal. So that's what that mark was. Okay, so that's how you know the difference. Because it's kind of like, how do you know who's a criminal down here and who's just, like, one of the funky colors? I mean, I guess, like, that guy looked like he was all yellow. He wasn't, like, you know. But you don't know. So. How did you find yourself in contact with him? He had collapsed from hunger, so I gave him some sesame bowls. Typical Olympia. Now you're feeding them. I glared at Kuroba and then took a step forward. Like, you know, as someone who's on the bottom of the color pack here, you shouldn't be judging them, but they are criminals, so I guess it's different, you know? Please, sir, director of the Kotowari, you're the only person I can talk to about this. Lord Jigen told me that the Kotowari can look at situations without bias. He did have a mark on his face, so he probably committed a crime. But he won't be able to see his younger brother again. I feel so sorry for him. It's just one letter. I could actually see it would be like, okay, then like in prison you're allowed to write letters, but I'm going to read your letter. You know what I mean? Like, I'll bring it to you, you can read it and decide if it should get delivered. Like, this is where I hid the bodies. This is where all the gold I stole is. All right, well now we know. You know what I mean? You read his letter, Akaza. For someone so rebellious toward us, you seem very comfortable asking for help. You're right, but I can't turn a blind eye to someone asking for help. If he committed a crime, he should be punished. But he's not allowed to feel anything for his family as well? Look at him looking down so forlornly. I'll need to inspect it first. Inspect? You mean you're going to read the letter? Under normal circumstances, those in Yomi are prohibited from being in contact with anyone on the surface. That's what he says. I've been a delivery boy a few times myself. Hear that? Then I can just sneak the letter past the guard. You're in a unique position. Additionally, this person has been found guilty of a crime, which means the possibility exists that he's looking to use you. But he was lying on the ground, hungry, and then magically popped up perfectly fine. He knew who you were. Where's this letter going? Who is this guy, anyway? Come to think of it, he didn't give me any details. The two of them looked at each other. They're like, you are too naive. Like, girl, you just stepped out into the world yesterday, literally. Even though you've lived here for a long time. Like, the situation wasn't looking good. He left right away and mentioned that he had something he needed to do. I didn't think he was purposely trying to hide his name or trick me or anything. As I spoke, I was making myself feel uneasy about the situation. Please explain to him that I'll be reading his letter first, and this is to ensure the content is safe to send. If he doesn't agree to those terms, then leave the area quickly without it. I'll let him know. A criminal who didn't give me his name. I'm not surprised that Akaza's being so careful. Mind you, not every criminal serving out a sentence is a bad guy. We just want to play it safe. Do you know where the prisoner's dormitory is? It's the gray building far down Yomotsu. Far down Yomotsu Hirasaka. Okay. Access to that place is usually restricted, so you need to explain yourself once you're there. Thank you. I'll look for it. I have to admit, I thought he'd say no. I guess the Iron Mask is sometimes... completely forgot. What now? I took my permit out of my bag. Thank you for getting the Kunado permit issued for me. For you, anytime. Oh! Look at him being adorable. Am I dreaming? The Iron Mask smiled because he's like, I'll marry you if no one else will. And she's like, jackass. And he's like, but it's because I think you're pretty. He doesn't know how to human. I love him so much. I must be dreaming. I looked again and saw his face back to its usual expression. Is this permit only issued to people on the surface? So the people in Yomi can't go through? Some Yomi residents are issued permits for the purposes of work, but only a select few. In general, you can assume the odds of someone from Yomi going to the surface are slim to none. I see. Wait, but a lot of people pass through Kunado, right? Why would the people on the surface go down to Yomi? It's like the fucking zoo. They're like, look at all the people in cages. It's like kind of, I mean, there are different types of permits. One of them's for work, like me and Akaza. Yours is for work, too. Next are merchant passes used for deliveries. See, Yomi needs a lot of external supplies to keep it running. So we're not totally heartless. It's not like, throw him in the fucking pits of hell and figure it out, bitches. It's like, no, we'll bring you shit. You know? But there's still people. They're just technically in prison, I guess. It really is prison. It's just like underground prison. And newspapers are valuable source of information, so newspaper vendors are given the right to sell anywhere, to all color classes. Newspaper, a printed paper made for the purpose of delivering news to the masses. This includes conveying announcements from public institutions and reporting on matters of interest to the general public. It's kind of funny that they put that in there as a glossary term, like people don't know what a newspaper is, but then again, there was a time when it was like, newspapers, you get the paper, and then now it's like, the what? Just go read a fucking news online. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, newspapers? What? So, like, there are probably people who are like, what the fuck is a newspaper? What? You don't... Wait.
Back in the day, your telephone used to be stuck to the wall, and if you were lucky, your mommy and your daddy got a really long cord so you could actually pace around instead of standing in a 1-foot circle. And then you got cordless phones, and the damn thing was never charged because nobody ever put the phone back on the base.
Oh, God. Newspapers? I've heard about them before. I mean, okay, here you go. Somebody who doesn't know what a newspaper is. They were introduced to the island some time ago. The Kotowari and the military print important announcements in the newspaper. Informing people individually would be highly inefficient. I had no idea. Printing everything on papers does seem to be much easier to understand. You could just get a giant announcement system that, like, echoes from the fucking femur bridge. You know, I'm just saying. But they don't sell all too well. The residents only buy them because they have to, which means most of them don't. But there is one publication that's really popular with folks. Some of the more interesting editions sell out just hours after release. Really? What kind of publication is it? It's the porn... Oh, it's basically Tinder. It's the dating pages. Oh my God. Descriptions of men and women who have reached mating age. It also announces who got married in which color class. Stuff like that. It's entertainment. It's literally like the fucking Inquirer or some shit. Marriages. As silly as it sounds, something like that could help me with finding a husband. I might be interested in reading something like that. Where can I buy one? It's literally a dating app, but in paper form. Oh my God, it's the seeking page of the newspaper. Shit. Like, oh my God. Yeah, have you ever seen anyone on the street with a cloth mask? I saw someone like that in the plaza today. That's probably him. Next time you see him, give him a shout. I nodded seriously in response. And lastly, we've got recreational permits to go to places like Yosuga's. Recreational permits? So the people on the surface can get permits just to go to the bathhouse? As long as the proper paperwork is submitted, yes. A lot of people up here may hate Yomi, but they sure do love their baths. And we don't have good ones here because Yosuga's down in Yomi. I see. I can see why everyone would want to go to a beautiful bathhouse like Yosuga's, but people from above choose to visit for leisure, while the people in Yomi can't even get a simple letter delivered. No matter how I look at it, it's so unfair. I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, I understand all of those are like prisoners or like, unfortunately, it's like you just born with the wrong looks. That's kind of rude. But like the prisoner thing you get. So you're like, it's like prison. Obviously, you got to have food going in. You got to have deliveries. You got to do, okay. You can't send a letter to your family. That's kind of rude. Because like even in prison, you could send a letter and like guards, people would read them just to be like, nothing shady, right? Whatever. Fine. Okay. But it's the, like, day passes like you go into the zoo. like everyone's like, oh, we're going to the slums where, like, all the freaks live and the prisoners. That's a little fucked up. That's a little bizarre. Like, huh. I heard a young boy's voice from behind me just as I was about to call for a carriage. I can't pronounce that. And I never look it up because I don't think about it, so. I'm terribly sorry, but do you have some time to speak at the moment? He's the person I saw at the plaza. Why, yes, I was actually looking for you. Me? But why? You sell newspapers, right? I was hoping to buy one. Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't have any right now. The newspaper isn't printed every day. But I heard we'll be printing some tomorrow. They told me this one will sell really well. So please look forward to it. I see. Well, then I'll be looking for you again tomorrow. His face covering made it hard for me to see his expression, but his polite mannerisms and gentle voice put me at ease. Speaking of which, when I'm not selling newspapers, I'm selling these. He lifted the cloth off his wicker basket. I looked inside to see what looked like sweets in the shape of flowers. They were so cute, with color variations in light green, pink, and yellow. They're so cute! What are these? They're called Sugiura? Sugiura? You crack them open to find a strip of paper inside with your fortune. Oh my god, they're fortune cookie flowers! They're fortune flowers! Sugiura. A cookie sold by Hayuri for 100 yen each. Breaking open the cookie reveals a slip of paper with a fortune inside. I fucking love... Look, I love fortune cookies. I'm not gonna lie. Not just because they got fortunes in them and they're fun, but like the fucking like vanilla. I hate when the places are like, here's like chocolate one. No, I want the normal like vanilla-y flavored cookie. Those are so fucking good. I could just eat boxes of them. I don't know why. People, chocolate chip cookie. I love peanut butter cookies, but like fortune cookies, fucker, those things are so good. I literally just want to eat like a box. Now I just want a fucking bunch of fortune cookies. They're the best. You're like, could you just look? I'm gonna order my Chinese food, but I want a bag full of fortune cookies. All of them. Give me all of them. You can actually buy them, like, I think I bought them in bulk once at one point. Sugiura. I've never seen these before. And the sun's about to set and I still have so many left to sell. My mother will scold me if I don't sell them all. She might not even let me in the house. I don't know if I'll be able to eat. I feel like you're fucking with me, but okay. What? My lady, would you please buy one? They're only 100 yen each. The basket had at least 20 inside. Can't believe he'd be scolded for not selling them all. I'll take 10. Huh? Really? I'd love to buy them all, but I doubt I'll be able to finish them. No, 10 is more than enough. I'm sure my mother won't scold me now. Here you go. Thank you so very much. I'll never forget your kindness. I should be thanking you. They look delicious. My lady, behind you. The carriage is here. Oh, wait, I'm coming. I hurriedly collected the wrapped sweets and ran to the carriage. Fiacre? Is it fiacre? Fiacre could work. I'm gonna call it a farce. It could be fiacre. Fiacre? Fiacre? We'll go with that. It just sounds, the word just sounds kind of dumb. You know, like sometimes, like, you know, if you say like fork enough, it starts to sound like a stupid word. Like, just say it repeatedly, and then all of a sudden you're like, fork. Who the fuck came up with fork? Dumb word. Like, words sound stupid sometimes when you say them a lot, but fiacre sounds... It just sounds like a really fake, made-up word that you made up as a kid, and, like, when you think about it, you're like, it's a little cringy. It's kind of a dumb word. Like, it just sounds like a dumb word. I just don't... Like, it just doesn't sound right to me. It sounds weird and wrong, and I don't like it. It's not like, you know, nails on a chalkboard, like, oh, I don't like it! But it's like, you're just like, yeah, no, there's just something wrong about it that you're like, nope, it sounds like a weird word I don't like saying. I don't know, it's just, I can't describe it. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope we meet again. See ya! He waved his arm widely, and I waved back to him as I boarded the fiacre. I don't know, it just sounds weird. It's a weird word. I don't like it. Carriage. Does it taste good, Daifuku?
Yes, very!
Back at the manor, I made myself a cup of my favorite tea and shared the sujiura I bought with Daifuku. These are called sujiura. They're sweet rice crackers, so they go well with tea. I read about them in a book before, and I've always wanted to try one. Are those, like, real? I mean, I feel like they're real things, but, like, Japan has their own type of fortune cookie? That's fucking amazing. America, why don't we have fortune cookie? We just steal the Chinese fortune cookies. Like, whatever. I don't know. But, like, yes, more fortune cookies. Make more of them. Different types. I like the ones, too, that, like, you can get from, like... I forget what the name of the place is, but they're, like, giant. And they got, like, so they make, like, big fortune cookies. But then they got, like, they dip the kind of tippy parts in, like, chocolate with sprinkles and stuff. And you're like, it's like a really big fortune cookie. They look amazing. I want one. Anyway. The book said the people sold them in a town called Edo. Okay, so they are. They're Japanese fortune. Why have I never heard of these? Do they not exist anymore? Do they still exist? Why? Why have I not... I just feel like I've been missing so much of my life not knowing these existed. But then again, I also feel like my life would be completely incomplete if, like, the Chinese fortune cookies that you get when you order Chinese, those ones didn't exist, or I didn't know that they existed. Like, I feel like my life would be a lie, because those are amazing. I love them. Edo, the capital of an island nation where Amakusa Shiro Tokisada and Grandmaster Jigen once called home. They lived on this island shortly before the region became prosperous. Yeah, so they lived back in the day. So that's interesting. When did Doma... I'm telling you, there's some weird time shit going on. I heard that Lord Jigen actually came from that Edo place. I've also heard that Edo is now known as Tokyo. Isn't that fascinating?
I see. You've studied a lot, haven't you, Hime?
Stethoscopes, newspaper, and sujiura. These are all in books I've read. I never thought I'd see them on this island, though. And I would never have discovered them if I never left the manor. It's kind of funny, though, that maybe it's because we know of these things because of Tokisada, Jigen, Doma, Tsukiyomi. You know what I mean? Like, the people who came from the outside world. But, like, it's a little strange. Like, stethoscopes, okay, fine. Like, they have things that we have. But it's like, let's learn about Edo and, like, this food that came from, like, Japan. And you're like, it's a little odd that you know what I mean? Like, you're reading books about things that exist outside, but you don't know anything that exists outside. And is it just a little odd to me? I feel like there's either going to be a plot point to that, or the game is just, like, gonna gloss over it, and you're gonna be like, but why would we have a book that teaches us about, like, it'd be like now if you invented a snack, right? Like sujiura, right? Okay, so it's a thing that exists on this island. So it could be actually an real, actual Japanese food. I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but I love it already, right? So it exists on this island. Like, sure, obviously shit that exists here, like stethoscopes, whatever, or things that exist in the real world where we actually live. Okay. But you can be like, okay, they invented it. You know, shit all over the world was like that. Hey, you have carriages? We have carriages. Oh my God. Like, when new cultures met each other for the first time hundreds of years ago, you had similar things that were being developed. You know what I mean? So it's not like this totally collective silos, like ideas were spanning the globe without people ever having met before. Now, with the internet and everything, globalization is so much easier because you're like, we can share ideas with people all over the place, right? But it's like if you all of a sudden found another planet and you were like, hey, they would have shit that would be similar. Like, oh my god, you have these flying hovercrafts and we've been waiting for hoverboards since fucking Back to the Future came out. I'm like, what the fuck? But you know, there'd be similar things, similar modes of transport, similar like health. You know, it's not like everything is unique to Earth. I mean, kinda, because we don't know about life on other planets. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So, like, you can understand in a fantasy setting like this where, okay, they have shit that we're used to seeing in the real world. They have, I mean, we have Japanese named snacks and shit in here, so, like, obviously. But it's weird that they know that Japan exists. And it's weird that we got a message in the bottle from Tokyo from 2021. But, like, when Tokisada came here a few years ago, they didn't have carriages. That was new shit. He was like, we had horses, but we didn't have carriages. What? And, like, obviously they're gonna learn about the stuff from, like, Jigen, Doma, you know, people that came to the island who were outsiders. So it's like, oh, here's some things. Because, like, it'd be the same thing as if you magically found yourself on an island an uncharted island. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to learn about the people here and I'm going to teach them about where I come from. And let's like you share ideas. That's what happens, right? That's, you know, the nice version of shit that happens, right? But it's strange that we have a book, that she's reading a book all about, like, Edo, which is now Tokyo. And, like, here's all the... It just strikes me as strange. Like, again, I know the 5 outsiders all probably came from Japan. That's what we're going with here. But isn't it just odd? Like, I mean, it just strikes me as slightly strange because these are 5 outsiders. So the island has books just written about. There's only 5 of them on this whole island. So why would she have read a book that talks about shit from the outside world? I mean, I guess maybe they're like, hey, because everyone's kind of curious what exists outside of the whirlpools, you know, outside the Matrix. So now these outsiders have interesting information. So there's information we got from the outsiders type of a thing. But it's also very strange. It's strange. And I'm curious as to how they're going to do this, how they're going to explain it. Like, okay, this is why they've been putting these little sprinkles of it in there to kind of pique your interest like this. Wait, but like, why do we have books? I'm like, what's going on? And like, you know, or they're just never going to mention it again and you're going to be like, this is a weird plot point that I'm very curious about. Because I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, you could, again, the outsiders and people are like, ooh, strange people on the beach, okay, but yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, somebody was, like, interested enough to be like, let's write a book about this shit. But, like, But it's also very strange that it's not in this fantasy setting that we're living in right now in this game that real fucking Japan exists. Modern 2021. Wait, what? Like, obviously a lot of games that you're playing that are historical fantasy. There's some bits of history, but it's kind of fantasy. There's a blending. But this is 100%, you come into this is some kind of like fantasy fucking land that we live in, but there's also reality over here. Wait, what? I think it's so jarring because like when you play other games, or like you think of like games that take place that are like sci-fi or fantasy level, right? But they're real world alternate reality fantasy kind of version. Okay, like Persona stuff. Okay, well that's got some like fantasy sci-fi kind of elements, right? But it's the real modern world, but also magic elements. Okay. You can wrap your brain around that because you're like, okay, this is the world you set up. But this is like 100% fantasy. It's kind of like if you were watching Lord of the Rings and they just fucking stumbled into goddamn Seattle and then they're like, hey, what's up? Okay, like let's just go to Starbucks. What the fuck? You wouldn't be able to handle that. Your brain's like, what? So this is like some Truman Show Matrix level shit going on, and it's tweaking me out a little, and I'm really curious, and I approve. Applause, but it's also a little strange. Because I don't know what kind of bomb they're going to drop on me, but I'm not going to be prepared for it. Maybe, because I'm trying to think of all the avenues here, but shit. Anyway. And I never would have discovered them if I never left the manor. Look, Daifuku, it says that I'll find the person I seek.
Congratulations!
I was worried what would happen if I ended up with a bad fortune. The others bore simple bits of advice, such as to study hard and be conscious of your health, Confucius say. I guess these are messages from Lady Amaterasu that I should do my best. I really feel like I can find my soulmate now.
Absolutely!
Seeing Mother in my dreams must be a good omen, too. I wish I could say I'll find my soulmate tomorrow, but I have to go and meet that person in Yomi first. Maybe his brother's your soulmate, you don't know. I'll write the letter as soon as possible, so would you be able to meet me here around 10 o'clock? Look, the secondary characters like this, even though they have sprites, are going to have weird voices because I'm not going to be able to keep them all straight, so I really hope he isn't a bad person. Letter delivery. It's interesting this is a whole chapter about this, but I rambled a lot, so we'll go a little bit more, even though it's a little under time, but we've been going a little over time, but I don't think anyone minds. Ah, thank God you came. I arrived a bit earlier than promised, only to find him already waiting. I need to tell you something before we go any further. I briefly explained the conversation I had with Akaza yesterday. I'm fine with him reading the content. I haven't written anything criminal in here. That's right, I haven't introduced myself, have I? I'm Kaina? Of the Yellow. Kaina. Kaina, a young man living in Yomi. He was born into the Orange class, but was adopted by a noble family of the Yellow due to his color traits. He was later exiled to Yomi for committing a crime. His brother is the kid we met, yeah. Yeah, because she said, he looks familiar, and then I was like, well, he's like yellow, but maybe he's related to that orange kid. Totally. Boop. I'm kinda, that's all. Aw. He's like, I'm not really of the yellow. That's so funny, because he was born, and he looks yellow, even though he was born in the orange class, and they're like, oh, we can't keep you here. Ship you off to Doma. I knew he couldn't associate himself with his color class anymore, but hearing it now was really painful. Which meant he must have committed a crime. He was stripped of his rights as a yellow. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this yet. It was only recently that I was sent here to Yomi. I gave him a small smile. I mean, he's adorable. Like, if they ever do, like, a fan disc of this game, could we, like, unless you're gonna be, like, creepy assholes, but, like, can we get, like, routes with, like, all the secondary characters? Because, like, you keep throwing, like, all, like, look at the pretty boy and, like, the pretty green dude. They're like, hi, who are you? You're hot. Like... Also, maybe Doma. we're gonna get to the end of the game and everyone except for our love interest is gonna be shady, awful human beings, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna take back what I just said, so. I gave him a small smile. Everybody seems nice, which is what the game is doing, so that when somebody is shady and mean, it's a bitch slap to your face. Could you give this to my younger brother? He's an orange and the caretaker of... Ebisudo? So you should be able to find him there. Ebisudo, a facility where items that drifted to Tengu Island are stored and displayed. Kanan of the Orange owns and manages the facility. I'm thinking Kanan is the kid we met. Do you know where Ebisudo is? I've never been there before. Is it the warehouse where they keep items found on the beach? Okay, you know what? That just goes back to the point that I made before of like, why the fuck... They keep finding weird shit on the beach. If they have a whole warehouse for weird shit, of course, they'd be like, we found all this weird shit, and let's, like, we know Jigen knows about stuff, and so, like, we're formulating all this information from what he knows and the shit that we found to, like, the mysterious outside world. But again, that feels very, so Matrixy Truman it's so bizarre. I love it. But it stresses me out a little because I'm like, what is happening? This is the huge mystery. Not will she find a husband? Sure, this is what the point of the game is, but what is actually happening in this bubble? Shit! I didn't think we were gonna get some kind of weird, twisty weirdness like this, but I'm down for it. Anyway, that's the place. They have a whole lot of rare items there, so you should have a look around while you're there. Sounds like a place I'd be stuck in for hours. He's my younger twin brother. His hair color's different from mine, but we look the same, so it shouldn't be too hard to find him. Yeah, he's definitely the kid we met. Understood. You can count on me. I'm just happy since I wasn't expecting you to do it. I know it's a pain, but I appreciate your help. I'm sorry for being so casual with you. Just feels like I'm talking to a normal girl. Normal. Not to worry, I'm not on stage now, so there's no need to be formal with me. I'm always happy to help if you need it. Now then, I'd better be going. Thank you, and good luck. I'll wait to hear back. He seems nice. Don't be shady. Kaina of the Yellow. Isn't that the guy whose girlfriend was executed? Oh. Execution, a punishment of death given to those who have committed serious crimes. The style of execution differs depending on the gravity of the crime. Or happy music in the background talking about executing people. Okay. Executed? Well, you see... She'll eventually hear about it in Yomi. It'd be better if she heard it from us. Hearing their exchange was already making me nervous. Oh, we should have stopped at this point, but whatever. We'll keep going. Sure, fuck it. Whatever. I was like, we should have stopped here, but I get so wrapped up in this that I forget. Sometimes I look and I'm like, okay, we got like 20 minutes left. And then I'm like, fuck, we're 10 minutes over. I get so wrapped up in this game. But we're over, and we should have stopped at this scene, but we'll just, whatever. It'll be a long part. But at the same time, I really wanted to know. I can't just stop when I'm like, oh, execution. Bye, guys. Like, marriage here is based on color class. Of course, that doesn't stop people from meeting someone on the street and falling in love with them. Oh. They're really gonna tell me they executed her for love? What the fuck? Yellow can only marry another yellow or one tier below, which is the secondary tier. In his case, he fell in love with an Otsu. I know there are rules about marriage, but she was executed just because of that? The military won't arrest anyone just because they hold hands. As it happened, they found proof of them in a sexual relationship. Oh my god! I mean, you can hold hands, but just don't go further than that. The law was established a long time ago. The reason, of course, was to protect the colors. We've repeatedly sent petitions to repeal that law, to no avail. See? Akaza's like, I don't like this. Akaza, if you have like a freaking long-lost love that's like some rainbow chick, I'm just not, we're gonna have to stop. You can't be in love with anyone else. Petition, a document submitted to the leaders of the island requesting specified circumstances to be changed. Akaza has submitted numerous petitions in an effort to repeal the laws governing the Hazushi. See, he's a good fucking puppet boy. He's not a puppet, he's a robot. He's a good robot! I see. A profound sense of sorrow came over me, and they executed her. Notice they executed her. Well, there was a man and a woman who weren't allowed to intermingle, who were intermingling, but like, she's the harpy! Let's kill her, and we'll just send him to jail. Oh, I see how it is, you sexist, racist bastards. Because she was a lower class. Well, he should have known better, because he was an upper class, but like, oh, whatever. Because he's a man. It's probably exactly what it is. It's probably a color thing, which is just, look, there's a lot of wrong happening here. But within it, there was a glimmer of light. Did I read that? A profound sense of sorrow came over me. But within it, there was a glimmer of light. They were both against the law. They were trying to make changes. My trust in them became stronger, and I started to see Akaza as kind of hot. I mean, he's always been kind of hot, but... I've reviewed the letter. For the time being, I see no problem with the content. So let's go and deliver the letter now. You're coming too? I can do it myself. It's just a precaution. Announcing yourself as a messenger from Yomi may cause alarm. And not to mention, I have another reason to meet with the caretaker of Ebisuro today. What What's that? Olympia of the White looking for a husband. Onward, hopeful candidates. The shocking headline was followed by a great deal of text and an image of me in the top corner. This is fucking hilarious. What the? It's the issue that hit the streets early this morning. Truthfully, we were expecting to see an article about you, but not for a while at least. Perhaps closer to when you found a prospective suitor. This is a problem. In that case, it'd be best for you to tell the author directly. He's the younger brother of Kaina, whose letter you're delivering. Kaina, yeah. I'll ask him to stop immediately. It's funny, he's the dude that we met who came up to us. You think he wouldn't be out there being like, hear ye, Olympia's looking for a mate. Because he'd be like, I'm going to stick my claim in that, so like, I don't want to tell people. But now he's like, does he like a challenge? What is with this guy? Then we should hurry. Let's go. And that's going to be for another part, but holy shit, this game is amusing. I like it. I'm enjoying this, so. Yeah. It'd be pseudo. It's pretty. Oh my god! They have sewing machines and TV. This is the weird... Okay, so right back to like what I was saying before, like, what is the deal? Like, so these are this is shit that's washed up, but again, I feel like the Matrix, fucking the Truman Show, some kind of weird fucking bubble experiment. I don't know what's happening here. This is like a Stephen King novel where there's some weird shit going on, and there's gonna be like this twist at the end that's gonna be like, what? We're just a government experiment? Huh? And you're gonna be like, fuck, what? Something like that. I'm prepared for something like that, but I'm probably not prepared for exactly what it is. Like, but shit. Anyway. So yeah, we will find out about this fun people museum later. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.